And for the remainder of the 2023 disc golf season, Funky Smith will offer his services to Oh, that's right. I joined the Lone Star Discs Ranger team. I sent in my form last week, so I haven't heard back yet, but I'm eagerly anticipating an email from them within the next week or so. A buddy of mine from the academy convinced me to apply for the Ranger team, and within a couple days I heard back that they accepted me. So, what that means is I need to have a bag that is 90% Lone Star discs. So I am going to be doing a bag swap. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through my bag and do a what's in the bag now, and then sort of compare what I have to what I need from Lone Star. So let's get outside. It's a pretty day outside, and get that done.
All right, here we go. Couple things before we get started. Go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit the like down below, hit the notification, tell your friends. I really love what I'm doing and I want to be able to do it more, and your support helps that. So the more support we get for the channel, the more opportunity I have to make it better. So go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the notification, all that stuff. Second, this is going nowhere. I'm hashtag Power Team for Life, part of the Power DG Academy for life. Not going anywhere. If anything interferes with that, it won't be a part of my disc golf career. Third thing, I know that this is not a real sponsorship. I get that pretty much everybody that applies gets accepted, but it's something new and different, and I wanted to try it out. So we'll see how it goes. So I've never really done it in the bag because I didn't think that anyone really cared, nor do I think that now, but this has purpose to it, so I figured I'd just put it on video. I needed to do this anyway, so I figured, hey, why not share it with other people? So what I did was I went on, and I don't know if you can see this or not, what I did was I went on Lone Star's site and I wrote down all of the discs that they have to offer and their numbers. And then I went through my bag and sort of did a comparison of what I have in my bag equates to what Lone Star Discs offers. So I'm going to go through my bag and sort of say what is going to replace what I have. So I carry about 25 usually with me, and that's just because I might need a utility disc that I have. So I have to have 90% Lone Star, which means technically 2 discs can be non-Lone Star. I'm going to round up and make it 3. We'll see if I can get away with that. Anyway, so let's start with putters and then we'll work our way up to distance drivers. Okay, first putter and approach. So all my putters are Axiom MVP. My putting putter is a Nomad. My anode, which is my throwing putter, one of my throwing putters, is dead straight. It will not fade at the end. So it's very neutral flying. And then my Envy, also a throwing putter. I can get this one to turn over, and then it fades pretty good at the end. So the replacement for these, my anode is probably going to be replaced by the Armadillo. A buddy of mine in the academy throws one. He threw it the other day when I was playing around with him. I love the way it flies. It's pretty straight, pretty neutral flying, and a great approach putter. So the Armadillo will probably replace the anode. Numbers aren't exact, but the way it flies is similar. I'm going to replace my putting putter, the Nomad, with the Blue Bonnet. And actually, I think this is what Nico uses to putt with the Blue Bonnet. It looks like the same numbers, and it seems like when I watch him, I've just watched him in the tournament they just did up in Washington. I can't remember the name of it right now. But it looks like it flies very similarly. It putts very, very similarly to the Nomad. They don't have a replacement for the Envy, really. They don't have an understable throwing putter that I saw, so we'll have to see. The Envy might be one of those that I keep. So my approach discs are all zones. These two My ESP Zone and my Zone OS are really utility discs for me. I don't throw them that often, but when I need them, I like to have them. The Harpoon will probably replace the Zone OS, similar-ish in numbers, not exact. And it looks like maybe similar in feel. The Harpoon may be more similar to like the Harp, but it's a Zone OS-ish disc, so that will be the replacement there. I don't really see a good replacement for my ESP Zone, so and honestly, it's not something that I throw all the time, so it may not need to be replaced. This disc, my Get Freaky Zone, my Crystal Flex, never leaving my bag ever. So this one is definitely a staying disc. If you ask anybody that plays with me, I throw this almost every hole, almost. It's just a fantastic disc. I love the feel of it. It's my forehand approach disc. I flick this all the time, and I can do whatever I want with it. It's so dependable. It's not leaving my bag. Okay, so that's my putters and my approaches. And that took far longer than I wanted it to take. So let's quickly move on to my mid-ranges. There are a bunch in here that I have that, I mean, I throw mids a lot, but I don't throw a lot of mids. Does that make sense? There's really 3 in here that I really care about. We'll save those for last. But I do have a Malta, which is really, really overstable. So again, another one of those utility discs. If I need to hook something around a corner, I'm throwing my Malta. Rock 3 is similar-ish to the Malta, but a little less overstable. So again, another utility disc. I don't throw the Rock 3 a lot, but I do throw it and I like it. I didn't really see much that would equate to these, but I'm not worried about it if I can't find anything. The Meteor, again, another utility disc that I don't throw a lot. It is understable, so I can turn this a nice turnover, and it fades a tad at the end, back to the right. I'm left-handed, so it turns over to the left and then fades a tad at the right. The Lone Wolf seems to be a meteor-ish type disc from Lone Star, so the Lone Wolf will probably replace the Meteor. So these are the 3 mid-ranges that I use the most. Of course, Buzz is a staple. I can do hyzer flips with this, get it to turn a little bit and fades really nicely at the end. So I love my Buzz. The Texas Ranger, same numbers. Looks similar in its profile. They have profiles, and I'll try to put a picture of the stuff up over here. I'm probably already doing that, but anyway. So the Texas Ranger will replace my Buzz. Mako 3, I love this disc. It's so neutral flying, and it holds any angle that you want to put on it. It's a really great neutral flying disc. It's a 5500. So I really would like something to replace this, but I don't see anything in Lone Star's lineup. The BB6 is probably the closest thing to this, but it's not close. So again, another one of those that I may try to look on holding on to if I don't find anything. This is my hold on to pile right here. There's 2 in it so far. I only have room for 2 more because my Crystal Flex Zone, remember, is not going anywhere. The Pyro, I need something that does what this does. This is my favorite mid-range and probably one of my favorite discs to throw. This one and the Crystal Flex. I love the feel of this disc in my hand. I love the way it flies. I love that it's dependable. I can't turn it over. I know that it's going to go right. I love the Pyro. So right now it looks like the MIDI from Lone Star is going to replace this disc, but if the MIDI doesn't perform like the Pyro does, the Pyro may have to stay in the bag. So I'm going to put this over here, but reserve the right to keep it in the bag if the MIDI doesn't do what I want it to do. So that's my mids. On to my fairway drivers, and this is going to be the biggest pile, only because Lone Star categorizes their 9 speeds as fairway drivers, where most other companies categorize them as distance drivers. I throw a lot of 9 speeds, and actually I've taken a couple out of my bag, but anyway, where are they all? Here they are. So the Crave, I'm going to need something to replace the Crave. It's just a reliable disc that I can flip up, do hyzer flips with. Right now it looks like the Frio is going to replace the Crave in my bag. I really need something that does what the Crave does, so the Frio is that. These two discs I don't throw a lot. This one is a Signal from MVP, which is a 6.5 -3 one, so really understable. Get those really nice turnover shots with it. Again, a utility disc that I don't use a lot, and I dyed this one myself. It was one of my first ones. Anyway, and then the Rhythm, which is a little less understable than the Signal, but again, a utility disc for me. I don't need to replace these, but if I had to, the Dome would probably replace the Signal. And the Mockingbird, which I'm going to bag anyway because I think Hunter throws it, and he seems to really like it. So the Mockingbird is going to replace my Rhythm. We'll see if I put the Dome in my bag or not. Carrying 25 discs is probably a little too much, and I need to narrow that down. So getting on to my 9 speeds, these are the ones I throw the most. This is the Falk. I dyed this one myself as well. I love the Falk. The Falk is a very straight flying disc that doesn't fade very much at the end. The Lariat from Lone Star is probably going to be the replacement for my Falk. I love, this is my go-to when I just need something straight. Now, my Undertaker, again, not something that I throw a whole lot, but again, a really dependable disc that I can get to flip up, do hyzer flips with it, and it fades at the end. The Dos Equis looks like the replacement for this if I want to do a replacement for this in my bag. So I used to throw a Raptor, and then I lost it. And what I had in my bag to replace it so I didn't have to buy another Raptor was a Thunderbird. This is a Champion Thunderbird. And I used to hate this disc. When I first got it, I threw it. I was like, I can't stand throwing this disc because I can't get it to do anything. Well, at the time, it wasn't supposed to do anything. It was just supposed to be a nice go right disc. And I didn't have the arm to throw it, quite honestly, when I first threw it. But after I lost my Raptor and I was forced to go to this one because I didn't want to buy another Raptor, I love the Thunderbird. I can get this to fly straight and then it just nice fade to the right at the end. It's very dependable. I'm not turning this disc over. It's not crushing right for me, but I can get it to fly straight and then turn right at the very end. I love the Thunderbird. So the Mad Cat is probably going to replace this in my bag. My Firebird, my forehand 9-speed. I love, love, love this disc. I can flip this up a little bit and over a little bit on a forehand, but then it fades right really nicely at the end. Very dependable. I love forehanding my Firebird. They don't really have anything that's exactly the Firebird numbers. The Chupacabra probably is the closest thing, but it may be a little more overstable than this. The Chupacabra seems to be like in between my Firebird and my Captain's Raptor. My Captain's Raptor is another one of those discs that it's going to pain me to get rid of this one. If there's nothing from Lone Star that equates to the Cap Wrap, it's going to have to stay. So again, it's another one of those discs that I'll put in this keep pile to evaluate if it's in the top 3 for me. And that is my fairway drivers. So let's move on to my distance drivers. Don't have many of these. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in my bag. There's really 3 that I throw consistently. The Catalyst I've gotten away from throwing. I really do like this disc. I had a Prism Plasma, which was a little more flippy than the Neutron plastic. I love the Neutron plastic, a little more overstable, but I bought a S-Line DD3 from Discmania that I absolutely treasure. If you've never felt the S-Line from Discmania, do yourself a favor and just go to a store and feel one, and you'll want one in this instantly. This plastic is so fantastic. But it's not, this is technically not as understable as the Catalyst, but these both fly the same for me. I think my S-Line DD3 is a little more domey. If you can see, that is a little more domey. And my Catalyst is a little more flat. So they react the same to me, and I like the feel of this plastic a little better. So the Catalyst has given way to the DD3 for me recently. So, and the replacement for this will probably be the bayonet. So those will both be replaced by the bayonet. The Wave, this was a brand new addition to my bag. I haven't even been throwing this for like a month now, but I love the way this thing flies. It just rockets out of my hand and goes straight. It's a -2.2, so it's supposed to be really understable, but man, this thing just flies like an arrow for me. So the curl is about the same numbers, so we'll see if that makes it into the curl makes it into my bag. These last two, I need to have something to replace these two. The first is my Hades, my favorite distance driver. I've been throwing this pretty much since day one. I can flip this up, I can turn it over. It fades to the right at the very end. The Harrier, the exact same numbers as this, and my buddy that has the Armadillo, he's part of the Ranger team, by the way, also throws, I think, the Harrier, which is the exact same numbers, and it looks like it flies similarly. So the Hades will be replaced by the Harrier. And last but not least, my Ballista Pro, my Opto Ballista Pro, my driving forehand disc. I love the way this thing flies. So I need something to replace it. The Seguin, I don't know how to pronounce it. Seguin. That is going to be the replacement for my Ballista, and I really, really hope that that disc flies similarly to this one. So there you have it. That's my in the bag from what I'm throwing now to what I'm hoping is going to be replacing it as I've joined the Ranger team, and we'll see how it goes. You'll see on video how the replacements stack up, and as I get the discs in, I'll probably do videos comparing what I used to throw to what I throw now, or what I'm going to be throwing on the Ranger team. So hope this interests you. Hope it wasn't too long. Hope it gave you some insight as to, the discs. And until next time, enjoy the journey. And here's your verse of the day.